Woohoo. Well, my life just got a whole lot better. And there's my cat trying to leave, trying to get out. It's not because I treat her terribly, it's just because she's an indoor cat and she doesn't like that. She used to hunt mice out at a barn out on a farm, I think. She used to hunt um, mice and rats and all that, and she's just getting used to, in her old age, dealing with the fact that I don't really want her around this area outside because of there's a lot of raccoons and other cats and all that stuff like that. So it would be much better if she stayed inside. So as you can see, I got my KVK shirt on. This is Doctor Doom. They call Clayton Doctor Doom. I don't know if you know. You might not know Clayton, but whatever. Anyways, he's awesome. Uh, I'm pretty sure that no one's gonna show up to this live event. I'm not sure if other people are um, around, but that's the trouble. It's either I get zero people or I get a bunch. I consider seven a bunch, which is I don't know if that's really a lot for most people, but it's a lot for me because I know those people are here to see me and they care about me. So, you know. But yeah, I feel really good. I feel amazing about my life right now, and it's because I was working on myself, almost doing experimental kind of therapies or writing or whatever. There's a lot of things. As you can see, my entire setup is way better. It's a lot better looking. I've got cool stuff going on. I had to clean up my apartment, so I made this area kind of a lot cooler than it was before. But now it's got my speakers. I can see them. It's pretty cool. They are, I think, 12 inches. I don't know, but yeah, I've got my Canadian flag, and it looks kind of like some other colonial flag, but it's a Canadian flag. I know that this specific flag might have some controversy along with it. I don't think of that. I just think it looks cool, you know. And then I got the another sort of pride flag above it for Demi. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. Demisexual. And then I got my Cherokee rockets that need to be fixed, and yeah, it's just a cool scene. So I'm thinking that zooming out and showing more and having me as a kind of not so much of this, but like show people I have a life or something like that. So anyhow, um, what I wanted to talk about today is oh, I wonder if I'm I wonder if I've been echoing this whole time. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, echo cancellation. Well, that's just the beauty of streaming. So I guess some people is kind of it's good to fuck up, but yeah. Oh, hey, nice. Okay, cool. I'm glad you're here, OPD. Wait. So yeah, more people are gonna show up. I don't know. I don't usually do this, so it's not like the the first thing that comes to mind to be like, oh, share this out on social media platforms, get more people interested in this or whatever. But yeah, so I um I learned a lot of mental health kind of cool stuff today, which is really nice. Hello to I see there's three people and it's growing, which is nice. So hi to people if you're not feeling like chatting. But my mental health has actually done a complete 180 right now, and it's amazing. I wrote a really cool kind of it just is one of those like I don't know what the parable. I don't know what a parable is, so it could be something else. Just a really quick message that I wrote on my other social media that I think has a lot of validity to it. But I mean, that's me tooting my own horn, but why not? So, yeah, anyways, uh, it says the truth, which, okay, I'll just say it first, then I'll explain it. The truth is action, fiction is thought, feelings are the pothole riddled roads in between. So, so, anyways, I was just reading the comments. So, what I mean by the truth is action, fiction is thought, feelings are the pothole riddled roads in between is that I do a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy, and uh, the um, the idea behind it is that it's like a triangle. I don't know which ones. It's like thoughts are up here, then behaviors are on one side, and feelings are on the other side. So it's like they all kind of revolve, and one thing affects another thing. And behind that, the idea that you can either change your thoughts or I think it was over here, the behaviors, you can change how you feel, right? So, my understanding of it is that feelings have always been an indicator, a kind of a communication system between what's going on in your body and what's going on in your mind. And maybe it's not 100% accurate what I said, but I think it's a, oh, there's my cat. uh, I think that if you have like really pothole riddled or really kind of, if the connections in between, the metaphor is that the connections in between your feelings and your no, between your actions and your thoughts is kind of is a difficult pathway. I think there's a lot of suppression there. I think that's where it comes from. Is like the efficiency of that pathway in between your thoughts and actions being feelings is rough. So I don't know. It's just it's a fun metaphor to think about because the more you allow yourself to feel your feelings, the more you allow yourself to not suppress anything, the more you can actually understand what's going on in your mind. The reason why I used actions are the truth is because you can do things despite your thoughts about the situation. Like you can think, oh, going out for a walk is going to be terrible. You go out for a walk, your thoughts are fickle. They change, right? Where do your thoughts come from and how do you create them? Well, that is a deep question. It's a big one. And hello, Lord Spike Protein. I'm not sure if I know where they come from, but well, actually, hold that thought. I think that once we, as individuals, learn language as we're growing up and we learn things that are not socially acceptable, things that are socially acceptable, the aversions we have, and are the things that we like I think we learn that it's a condition over time, and the thoughts are only representative of, I guess, our reactions or our response to any kind of stimuli with our five senses. I may be wrong, but that's my best understanding of it, and it comes from our history, from our conditioning, and it may not be even be us who is thinking the thoughts. The words that come into our minds might not even be necessarily created by us. It may be just stuff we've picked up over the years. You know, I always often wonder what happens when we're in a crowd, right? We're in a big crowd. Responses come after the thoughts. It's almost like one of those things where it's a flow, it's a river, right? It's like asking. Um, I don't know. It seems infinite almost because our if you focus on the moment, it seems infinite. Where do they come? Like, what is the chicken or the egg? I guess would be the best question. What comes first, chicken or the egg? Would be the thing about that because I'm not necessarily sure. I mean, you'll have people like psychiatrists and psychologists learning about this stuff, And it's really it's a topic that's very difficult to kind of it's to figure out what's subjective and what's objective when it comes to something as ethereal as psychology. I don't know, but I know a lot of stuff about mental health uh, research and stuff just because I've been through so much therapy and stuff like that. So uh, if I say anything here, of course, don't take it with a huge grain of salt because I'm not a mental health professional and I don't know anything about it. The only thing I am a professional at is having mental health issues. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad. Here's a question for you. You can think about as I continue talking. What is spirituality to you? What defines something that's spiritual? For another friend of mine, he's not he's like an atheist agnostic, and he says he still believes in spirituality, but it says it has more to do with mental health and mental well-being, and like a connection is actually the underlying thing between that connection with yourself and others. But yeah, I don't know. I almost thought that there's going to be a bunch of people showing up, but it doesn't matter. I'm just happy that I'm here. I'm feeling pretty good, and I got my chicken. You can see that his name is Napoleon. So I walked into a grocery store. I saw it and I just needed it, and I even had to ask someone. I was like, "Are these for sale?" She's like, "Yeah, they're for sale." And I grabbed one and I left. I was there originally for smokes, and then anyways, yeah, I think one of the hugest things for me as far as spirituality goes is mindfulness and awareness of the present moment. And someone like Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle, uh, he has definitely given me insight. Um, One sec. I'll just finish my thought. Uh, he has given me insight into what really matters, which is presence, and of course, understanding that the being behind all of the insense or what is it insufferable sometimes logic and conditioning and story and all that stuff like that, that is the entity that experiences all of that is one that is good to pay attention to, or at least give a space to exist. So I'm going to read your comment. Our spiritual condition manifests in the mind. A wicked heart will act on them. It almost seems like two separate concepts. Our spiritual condition. Do you mean okay? So what is the thing that's being manifested? I mean, so what is the thing that is being acted upon? The spiritual condition, or whatever it is. It's an interesting uh, statement. But yeah. Anyways, I've been doing a lot of. My Facebook is a great place to hang out. I know it's probably not the coolest social platform to be on these days, but I got a lot of good peeps on there, and sometimes they got funny memes. So there you are. Uh, yeah, I think okay. So the truth is action, fiction is thought, feelings are the pothole riddled roads in between. Building proper infrastructure is paramount to living within the kingdom of heaven. And I say that more secularly, but yeah, listening to the thoughts. Sometimes the thoughts are just complete random garbage, right? But I mean, I don't know. So oh, here's a cool message. Sharing my post on that I got on Facebook because a lot of you probably aren't on my Facebook or even caring about that. But I wrote this kind of cool poem. I think it's, I mean, it could be a poem. We don't create thoughts; they come from the evil spirit. Oh, all right. So this is the most important understanding I have experienced. What you pay attention to magnifies. That is the law of attraction. I say that lightly because I think a lot of that's phooey, but finding more evidence, that's it. Where you go is what you'll get. Because I think to kind of elaborate on where you go is what you'll get. What I meant was like the people that you surround yourself, where you show up, where you participate is what you'll essentially gather more of. Beneath you is a raging ocean, but you guide the ship. Be aware, the intention can be completely harnessed. Feel what you feel to infinity. With the context of care, form your destinies. Craziness is what you reject. With proper inquiry, craziness becomes the wind in your sail. Craziness is the Mr. Hyde of love. Stop suppressing your insanity. Pay attention. We're all crazy, my friends. I just think that being crazy is a worthwhile endeavor if one wants to fully understand and love themselves unconditionally. There are much bigger fish to fry. Crazy, right? And it probably comes across crazy, but oh, hey, cool. Indy's here. Awesome. Well, it's good to see you. Oh, it's not even on. It's got a lock. These e-cigarettes got a lock feature, and oh man, I wonder like in video games if I'm better at mashing the buttons on like a fighting game just because of this thing. Because you press it 5 times really quickly. I find myself doing that million times a day. Huh. So, anyways, feeling pretty good. I know that this may come across as maybe strange. I'm not sure. I shouldn't automatically assume that what I have to say, if it's like really what I want to say, is something that is strange. So, oh hey, that's my sister, and OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg. I hope you're doing well. And so I think I'm just gonna try to read this, like, skim what I posted before and see what I was trying to get at. Yeah, okay. So I think Proven. So I think from memory, I was thinking that I experience voices, I experience auditory hallucinations, and I now have the awareness that they can be they're like a filter. They can be like over not my eyes, but my ears are like a filter. And it doesn't matter what the sound is, they just automatically create words that go over top of it, right? I was listening to bird song, like nature sounds, and it basically it filtered it to make all the nature sounds speak words in English. And it's just a wild discovery because and at least I'm coming from a place where I'm trying to understand it in like a rational manner, because then it's not so freaky anymore. And then when I'm not working at my job and I think I don't know where it's coming from, there's no focal point. So I don't know if this is a real thing or not. So I think in my post on Facebook, I was thinking like, how do I look at this from a way that say gathers evidence or like looks at it in a logical manner? And that's what I came up with. And I did some experiments. Like I said, did the bird song thing. Then I did the sounds of rain on the top of a tent, which I mean, for the most part, would be a pretty relaxing sound. But to me, I was hearing in that noise, I was hearing like weird little voices here popping up. So yeah, I realized the biggest part was when I realized that okay, so I'm hearing bird songs. But it may be in an English speaking country. So I listened to bird songs from Africa, from Central Africa, and it was the same thing. So I was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. And then I've just been feeling inspired. I watched this kind of spiritual video, and I realized that I have the ability to point my attention into basically any direction I want. And I thought it's kind of funny, like what I look at, what I want to look at, all those things. It seemed to like I don't know. As far as if I want to make thoughts of negative things in the forefront of my mind all the time, or do I want to look for beauty or wonder or like the do I want to build gratitude in myself for what I have. I It's interesting. I feel really happy right now, so I wanted to express that. So yeah. Um I didn't really plan this talk, but I kind of wanted to look at some things that have helped me. So I'd probably just read out quotes and tell you what I think about them. Uh I already have this one. Let's see. Stoic quotes. I am a big fan of stoicism. Intellectualizing mental health is a veil. Veil is veil, but uh over the fallen state evil of a person that has anger. Okay. Um the fallen state of a person that has anger. I mean, okay, fine. I don't know. I kind of think of it intellectual. Well, first we have to think intellectualizing mental health. But first of all, I don't know what intellectualizing necessarily means in this context. Um, Mental health is a wide spectrum of things. You can have like tons of different kind of mental disorders that come from completely different scenarios or whatever. And then the fallen state. So what I see that is as the it seems like it's the mostly theistic approach of like if you're having a problem with your thoughts or your mind, it is a fallen state, which is I guess assumed to be um it's translated into feel shame about yourself. I mean, from my perspective, not like become curious about what you might be able to do to fix it. But I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of shame that goes along in Western society, and I think that may be where it's coming from. Not sure, but it's a spiritual condition. I mean, that's great if it's a spiritual condition to you. But I know what's worked before, and I'm doing pretty good at getting getting away from that fallen state. What is that fallen state? Like I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to. It's a complete. It's not. Yeah. It's difficult to explain to you, but I understand it. Um. So Clay, good to see you. Oh yeah, that I was just reading in Indy's comment. Clay, it is good to see you. But let's see who else we got here. Omni's here, which is awesome. Hey, I know you can hear me, which is pretty cool. And so yeah, I have I know Omni. It's what it is. Yeah, okay, so Omni was saying the fallen state sounds liken to fallen angel uh, stuff. To say someone is fallen is to say one is weaker or lower when emotionally unstable. Instability equals spiritual injuries on one story's needing. As long as the person who I guess has that thought train is able to take themselves out of it, like as long as they're able to heal themselves with the solution that someone would with religion would kind of pose, then that's good. I guess good. If it works for you, it works for you. But anyways, we're getting off track. I think I think the best thing is to love yourself, but and love yourself unconditionally, not for reactive things that other people, not about your story, not about what other people may have said about you or believe about you, or and it's mostly you're just trying to assume what other people think about you because really when it comes down to it, you're just you. And I don't know, shame sucks. I think don't fall for that. Don't think that shame is a noble thing, especially when it's toxic, but that's just my opinion. Do as you will. Do as you will. Be yourself. That's probably what I would probably encourage you to do. So I got some stoic quotes for all three of you. You may have heard these before, but I think it's cool to kind of rehash them. Repetition is a great learning tool. And especially as you get older, apparently repetition is the only thing that makes things stick. Like when you're younger and you go to school or whatever, it's easy for your mind to soak up stuff. But as you get older, these kind of truths need to be rehashed sometimes. So I'll look for a good one. They're all good, but the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. That was Marcus Aurelius. Um, that's a pretty awesome thing, and I think it goes along with the same sentiment, the same underlying logic behind if someone makes you angry, they become your master, or something like that. I think Epictetus said that. So obviously, there was a carrying on of um, that logic from Epictetus, the mentor, to Marcus Aurelius. But let's talk about that. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. I think a lot of the time when people look out to the world and they see things that they don't like, uh, they kind of, I don't know if this is 100% fact, but Jungian psychology says that, well, Carl Jung, right, psychologist, I think he's a psychologist or a psychiatrist, whatever. He was saying that he did this thing, like the shadow work, right? Which means that the thing he assumed that when you look out into the world and you see things that you don't like, it is just a mirror of yourself back to yourself of your deepest aversions to yourself. Which is, I know it sounds like a weird loop, but it's an interesting concept. Yeah. So, but I think that if you have enemies that you are not necessarily inclined with their actions or words or whatever, the treatment of other people, um, revenge. You call it revenge, right? But I don't think that's a good way to go about being a human being. It had to be phrased that way, like the best revenge, blah blah blah. For some people to kind of soak it up is to not be like your enemies. So if your enemies, right, other people that you don't like, are being rude, if they're being controlling, shameful, or throwing shade at other people, it's the fighting fire with them, being like them, just so that you can kind of get back at them is, I think, probably not the most virtuous way of going about things, right? So, thank you, by the way, Lord Spike Protein. I got over a big hump today as far as my recovery, and I'm very happy. So I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're participating. Have you heard of Platonism? Platonism? Oh, you're talking about Plato Stoicism? An attempt to blend Platonism with naturalism. I have not. I have not. Send me some links in. You have me on Messenger, so you can send me some links about that, right? Hey, Dennis. so, I guess I'm just really exhausted that one, but another one would be like, oh, there we go. I'll just pick it at random. External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now. Um, so when I said something before, which was a bit about like thoughts are fiction, because I truly believe that that it takes time to uncover the truth. Like it takes time to really figure out what actually goes on. And we live in a reactive society. I mean, what's one of the most popular types of videos on YouTube? It's reaction videos. Some videos are sneaky and they're reaction videos or commentary videos, but it's the same thing. It's just kind of veiled, as you'd say, in another light. Um, I don't know. Very popular, very a lot of money in that apparently. But the thoughts that you think, if you are if you react instantly to anything, a lot of the time, it's just gonna give you an emotional trigger that I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so you have to you have to let certain things like bake in your mind. You have to reflect, and I don't think a lot of people do that. They don't gather evidence, they don't gather context, and they don't allow themselves to reflect for like a long period of time, because they're always online. They're always on these videos. They're always like, you know, I think that's the idea of mindfulness, is that you're allowed to stop for a second, give yourself a moment, and then when you do that, when you're in your mind, so to speak, you're full of your mind. Uh, you just kind of like you realize how crazy your mind is sometimes when you're not paying attention to what's going on in here. The monologue, you get swept up by other things. But as soon as you sit there and you're quiet and you're trying not to think, or you're trying to suppress the inner sound of your thoughts, man, oh, you realize all the crazy shit comes out of the woodwork, and everyone's like that. I think a common misconception about meditation is that you have to like be good at it. You have to, it's like a type A versus type B personality thing, where type A personality has to be the achiever, has to be doing things, getting things done, be the best, number one, all that stuff. Whereas type B is just like, hey man, just smell the flowers, man. It's all about the journey. And as far as meditation go, a lot of people, they could be type B personalities, but their ideas about it are type one, and they're or type A, sorry, and they're just like, oh, I'm not doing this immediately, to the point where I'm levitating. I'm not the, I'm not 100% amazing at this right now, right? And I wish I had an answer for them that didn't sound like horseshit or, esoteric shit. Hey, so how's it going? Development of a void, nice. And Kurt, awesome. So when I say it doesn't sound like horseshit, it doesn't sound like metaphysical mumbo jumbo when I'm talking about mindfulness or meditation. Um, so a lot of people are very much they're not only completely swallowed by like their monologue, or what the words that they're using to describe outer events are in their mind. They're, you know, but like try this. If you're completely new to this idea, which I don't know if all of you are, notice things like when you're walking outside, when you're going to a new place. Notice when in your mind you feel this compulsion to like identify things, or like classify, or um just basically describe things in your either the literal things that you're describing in your vicinity, or like how they make you feel, or whatever. It's crazy. Just go outside and just like don't think anything and walk someplace with allowing yourself to let go of this idea that you have to be like, oh, hey, that's a pretty cool car, or hey, I wonder what type of person drives that, or whatever. It could be negative or positive, or oh, look at the size of that oak tree, or something, right? If you can let go of that process, you'll it's weird. If something happens and you start to see it, the world around you, without all of the meaningless titles we give everything, and it's amazing. So yeah, this was oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm behind in the comments. Let's see what's going on. Okay, Kurt's here. Nice. Avoid's here. The real Justine is here. And who else? No, that's about it. I'm sure there's still some people from before. So, yeah, I'll just rehash it a couple times if I'm not, if it just, just to bring it to people's attention. Over the last, I don't know, a couple months or so, ever since I lost my job, and before that too, I just been in one hell of a slump. I've been in one hell of a slump, and it's been I've been just really having lots of crazy stuff happen, but slowly but surely, I've been pulling myself out of that. And today was a huge event where I just really started on a good mindset and and attitude and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm just feeling good, feeling like I want to maybe go through some kind of philosophy quotes and stuff, and maybe um, just lots of different kind of cool stuff. So, let's get back to the Stoicism quotes. My Facebook is dinging. So we did the best revenge is not to be like your enemy, which isn't even revenge. It's actually probably self care and self compassion. External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now. It means that nothing is too set in stone, and what you think the world may be, if you are very rigid about that, I just suggest maybe stepping back, because I think absolute certainty is like, if not exactly folly, it is the breeding grounds for it. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective. I will gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. So that's even just a follow up of basically what I was trying to say about the last quote. That was Marcus Aurelius with the if anyone can refute me quote. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. That's like the memento mori thing. Always remember death. That's what it means. I think in Latin is memento mori. Is it's basically like the more adult version of saying live every day like it's your last. But it's like remind yourself this is not permanent. In fact, it's not even secure in most ways. We are more often frightened than hurt. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. A lot of things come down to fear. A lot of things come down to aversion. And just like the last quote, it's like, or not the last quote, I don't think. It was one of the last quotes. It says, external things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, right? Which you can erase right now. Be willing to be adaptable. It's the best thing we have. As human beings, we are adaptable, right? We can take on any situation. Um, yes, in some ways, Lord Spike Protein, revenge is forgiveness. But it's not only forgiveness of whoever harmed you, it's also you, because harming yourself all the time, I don't think it's fertile grounds for feeling the very forgiveness that, you know? If we had free will, why can't we will ourselves to have a sound mind and a pure heart? I don't know. I think that comes from a completely different set of beliefs, but hopefully they can interchange or I don't know. Anyways, he who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. I don't even get that one. Man, that stumped me. Maybe I'm a lot stupider than I thought. Okay. That was Seneca. He's a smart one. Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Pretty pretty straightforward, right? But I mean, one of the things that I think had uh one of the things that really motivated me out of this rut that I've been in was directions. One of the coolest Epictetus quotes that I've heard is that okay, I will get to that comment in a second. Avoid that is awesome. Very true. One of the coolest things that I've heard from Epictetus was if a man knows not which port he sails to, like if he's going out into the sea and he on a boat and he doesn't know where he's going, then no wind is favorable. So obviously that comes from an idea that you have to have a direction. You have to focus on something. What do you want to do? And if you don't necessarily want something I don't know, frivolous like possessions. What do you want? What change do you want? How do you want to live? I don't think I fear death. I think pain is probably the worst. Yeah, that's dead on. And okay, so instead of reading a lot of quotes, it would necessarily be beneficial to stick with only one for a very, very long time. That way we can embody it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I have ADHD, and that's gonna. I guess there's ways of doing that. Yeah, I was saying the other night on a quote or on a stream when I first saw one of the quotes. I was like, you could write an entire book just about this particular one liner, which is amazing, and you really could. Like some of the sentiments given by the Stoics are just incredibly rich. Death is an illusion. The person who fears death spends all time worrying and no time enjoying. That's what it means. Yeah, well, don't. It's like worrying about the future. The future that you're creating in your mind right now probably won't come to pass. So, in essence, it's an illusion. Death is one of those milestones that you'll hit in the future, and you'll never know when, why, how, whatever. So, worrying about something like that is literally like worrying about a fantasy, right? Although it's not necessarily a pleasant fantasy. I mean, I can see that. So, what do we got from here? All right, I was going to read your comment. Avoid people like Marcus Aurelius lived a long, difficult life, and their quotes embody years of struggle, pain, experience. To read the quote and try to understand, then easily forget is detrimental. Yeah, but things have to be repeated over and over and over, especially with me. I mean, I'm not my mind's not 100% the most obedient uh entity. So but yeah, I think we all can't be Marcus Aurelius. I mean, that would be great if we could, but other people like me have to really work at it, which is not saying too much about me. But yeah, okay, let's get. You have a degree in psychology and a minor in philosophy. That's awesome. Well, you could be talking about this. You could be doing a stream about this and kind of going for it. This is like the layman's, I don't know really shit, but it seems to help me kind of version of it. But that's okay. Now, now is all that exists. Past is the extrapolation of what led to now, and the future is the extrapolation of what will come from now. And both past and future are not fixed. Will only the now exist. Yeah, cool. It's very easy. Yeah, it's very easy to kind of to get stuck in thought. And just like Eckhart Tolle, it's he claims that thought is probably the most addictive behavior. I mean, when I say thought, I mean just like talking to yourself incessantly or listening to thoughts. I don't know where you stand on that. But yeah, thanks, Avoid. I'm I'm really trying to develop myself more and more as time goes on. So yeah, I will just oh, there's one notification. I wanted to figure out what would be an interesting thing to talk about. Since I'm so scatterbrained a lot of the time, I don't necessarily plan things. But now that I have 11 people here, I'm going to be doing a stream next Monday. I really hope I mean, I'm really going to attempt to be every Monday, 12 noon. I looked at my analytics and it said that most people uh, that are my viewers show up at around 12 noon. That's like the main time when it shows up. So we got some new people. Abe the band, awesome. I wish I could share your album playlist of Numbers. I was listening to Numbers today on my big stereo, and I fucking loved it. It's great. I tried to get a contrast from I tried to get a contrast from like the first album to the brand new album, and the drums are crazy on the new album, but basically everything else on the first album amazing too. Like I'm not even gonna criticize the drums because they serve a purpose and they have a specific sound. I liked all of it. I don't know. I liked all of it. So Ape has a premiere tonight. That's awesome. Okay. I'll check it out. We got Pookie Ann. Very, very very happy because I got to talk to a lot of people the other day, and she was one of them. But it's good to have a community around me that cares. So you got who else? No, I think it was just Abe and Pookie that showed up. Sweet. So I have a sorry, I got see how easy it is for me to get fucking distracted. Uh I got a stream coming up. It's on Monday, noon, and I don't have I have a video, a last stream and the next and this stream. In the description of that video, you can go onto Google Forms and submit a song. I have not received a single submission for any of it. I thought I may receive more, but I mean, it's not expected, right? So, as I slowly build this little Monday show, it's called the Magic Monday Mosaic. Then I think more people will be able to check it out. Send in submissions. So anyone, you can share, spread the word. If anyone wants to be on the show and wants, I have a little option for constructive criticism, and you can either pick yes or positive. I think it's positive, no, or other, or something like that. I don't know, but I tried to put my thought into that. So, hey, Michael songs. Oh man, when I was on the stream, when we were on the stream on what was that the big old hangout? I forget what it's called. Block party. That was so fun. Oh man, you really kicked butt on that one. Really good sound. I liked Minnow Dog. I remember. Okay, I got to catch up on these here comments. I got a decent amount of people showing up. I got to do this more. I sometimes get a bit insecure or afraid that when I start these random streams, that and they're zero for quite some time, that it's not going to pick up. But I'm glad that I stuck to it. I'm also very happy today. So we got some cool speakers. I've had these for quite some time. Got them at a thrift shop. They were $50 each. This one and that one. Got the other ones are like over there, so it's kind of makes like a big fucking. It's like quadraphonic sound or something. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, it's 4.0 speakers. I don't have a subwoofer, although I would like to. So when I'm watching when I'm watching the streams, listening to the music, it's usually on these big speakers. Uh, Also, when I go to research and listen on, like, Deezer is my favorite streaming platform to listen to, because they are flat quality. So they're 16-bit, they're not 24-bit. But I think that's better than 320 MP3. I may be wrong, but Deezer's just worked for me. So, although it's not working on my phone for some fucking reason, which pisses me off. So yeah, again, I listen on these big stereos. I've got got my headphones wherever the hell they went. But I've got some nice headphones. I was thinking my headphones are kind of shit in the bed right now. Just I don't know. They're perfect. They're in perfect working order. They don't look very pretty though. So we got some conversation going on in the chat. Socrates thought the Greek gods should be an example for people, not cause strife and commit debauchery. Yeah, I haven't read a lot about what ancient Greek life was like, you know, in relation to their deities or their mythologies or whatever. But it's a cool topic. I just got home from work errands after work, ready for the weekend. That's cool. Sounds like you're having a pretty dope day. That was Pookie, right? So, do I got? I still got tea, but it's probably cold now. So that's something to talk about. What do you guys? Are you guys coffee drinkers or tea drinkers, or do you even like those types of hot beverages? Personally, I went from coffee pretty hard to tea, mostly because it gave me too much anxiety. If I could, I love the taste of a good, like, I don't know, what was it? I don't know, just a fancy coffee, just like a really fancy, rich coffee. But I've gone more to tea, and now if I had more money, I'd be buying organic sencha, green tea all the time. That's like the best thing. So got another comment about Socrates. In the era of Socrates, people believed in multiple gods, but the word belief meant something else. If, for example, you get angry, you are at that moment possessed by Mars, the god of war. Yeah, yeah. I watched a TED talk, and this lady said that when you are inspired, as say like a painter, or a sculptor, or someone creative in their house, or their home, if you are inspired, it's literally the daemons that are possessing you. They live in their spirits that live in your wall, and they're possessing you. And so you could always get away with, oh, I'm sorry if this painting sucks. It wasn't me. It was the daemons in my wall, which I think that's pretty awesome. So who's the god of sarcasm? Fuck. I wish I could come up with something funny to say, but I don't know. That was their way of describing their emotions. Yeah, it's amazing. Um, Completely different train of thoughts and relation to one's thoughts. Hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. Indy, I just saw you give me a message about this stream. I'll definitely do that in the future. I'm glad you showed up though. Pretty awesome. So we got. What do we got? Where? Who? I don't see Doctor Danger on here. Did he show up? I have no idea. Anyways, so sarcasm is not an emotion. Lol. It's yeah. There should be a god of sarcasm. Ah, wow. Yeah. They would get a lot of. They would be put in the spotlight quite a bit in the meme world. He is saying Doc is the god of sarcasm. Oh, gotcha. I was cool. Yeah. So I think that do I want to talk about something a bit depressing, or do I want to talk about something enlightening? Well, I'll just I'll try to do both in one thing. Stigma for mental health disorders. It can be a real bummer. But I think it would be nice. My perspective has always been that if you suffer from a mental health disorder and people are not understanding of it, not to blame them. Okay, they're not necessarily the ones who are behind their ignorance or fear, but as a mental health, and I'm not saying strictly all people with any mental health disorders, because that's a vast statement. But for me, I would like to, as someone with a fairly, scary sounding diagnosis, schizoaffective disorder, if people are even acquainted with that. It's schizophrenia and a mood disorder. So if people are not acquainted with that and they're a bit afraid of that, it's up to me to kind of, in my mind, right, be less scary, be approachable, be open, be wear my heart on my sleeve. and to be positive, to try to uh, do what I can when I'm not being affected by my illness to help spread kindness in my community and spread positivity, right? So yeah, I think if there it's something that has to be paralleled with better treatment, more taking mental health as a serious concern by the authorities, governing bodies, whoever, health officials and stuff like that. We really have to look at it in a way that doesn't segregate people with disorders or complications or challenges from the main neurotypical society. It just in order I think we have to have connection between both. And some people may think that's not a good idea. Yeah, but okay. One sec. I'll that's pretty much all I wanted to say on that. But I was blessed on my drive home today. Justine got me kind of worried. Okay. Make it seem like there's something wrong with our mental state, but it is more likely we don't have mental illness that we have. Huh? What's the different? What's the mental health gets used a lot, making it seem like there is something wrong with our mental state, but it's really oh, you're saying it's more physical. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. There was something mentioned about a fallen state before earlier on stream that mental health challenges. Sorry, I don't mean to. I just want to say this. I don't mean to kind of like just throw shade at you, but there is a popular narrative that it's a character flaw, and it's been pervasive ever since like people existed. It's not something to be shameful of. It's something to work on with your best effort, with health. Your physical health will dramatically shift what's going on in here, but it's not like it's too easy, especially maybe for someone who already has uh, challenges with interpreting reality. It's too easy for them to take that and think, I'm a terrible person. Some people don't even need coaxing to do that. Some people are labeled or diagnosed as a certain thing, and then automatically their entire self esteem goes from here, say this is the normal level, to like boom, right through the floor. And some people's reaction to that is both that it fucking goes through the floor, but also that um they completely deny it, and they do everything they can to think, especially with something like schizophrenia, that, "No, of course I'm not broken. The mental health system's broken. The medication is broken. It's all a lie. It's all a conspiracy," or something like that. Uh, Not talking about you, Clay. I'm talking about, maybe that's why schizophrenics are so easily, uh they're such a fertile breeding grounds within their minds to think about things like delusions and stuff like that. There's a big I mean, it's a very hard thing to accept. It's a very hard thing to accept and to allow yourself to I'm behind in comments. It's a very difficult thing for you to ac- accept in yourself. Like it's a very hard thing, right? Yeah. Some people I mean, yeah, I'm okay, so we're gonna open up this can of worms, which may sound a bit negative, but it's okay. We all accept everyone's idea of mental health struggles. You know, um, some a lot of it, the popular trend, or at least the mainstream idea of mental health, is something like depression. And I'm not detracting in any way from depression, whether it's like straight up like as heavy depression as you could possibly imagine, severe depression, or if it's I've heard that one thing is yeah, my friend, my one of my close friends has that as well. So that cool. I mean, it's not cool in any way. I'm just saying, like, thank you for being open. So, what was I saying? So, I fucking lost my train of thought. Okay, what are we? Mental health, right? Mental health in the mainstream. So people are no matter if they have slight depression that is very pervasive and constant slight depression. Imagine feeling like just kind of like shit all the time for like years and not having any break from it. Pretty heavy depression is a horrible thing to deal with, but even just like not moderate, but like I don't know, I don't even know what the word for it. Slight depression all the time without any, it still sucks. It's still depression, you know. And so we're but like in mainstream media, I don't know, this almost sounds like legacy media. What on social media, a lot of people are willing to say that mental health is depression or just anxiety, and anxiety really fucking sucks. If you're someone who feels that sometimes, you'll know. But it has a lot way more, it has way more to do with that. And I think as yeah, I hear that. Oh man. uh it's one of those things that comes in waves. It's one of those things that can uh it's one of those things that can actually that has you can it's not like something that just lasts and lasts and lasts. It has ebbs and flows, and also just complete, it's not like a, what is it, a linear kind of thing, right? So there obviously there's a lot of hope for me as well. um but there's so much mental health out there. I mean, all the way from schizophrenia and a major mood disorder like I have, to ADHD, to there's a, I don't know, I think this is a symptom. It may not be a mental health disorder, but it's one of those outlier ones. It's called Paris syndrome. I don't know if someone can explain it, and if someone knows what I'm talking about, because it's obviously all over the internet. It's kind of a silly. It's not silly to a certain degree because the people who are feeling it do experience a mental breakdown, and I think that's even an old way of saying it. But Paris syndrome. It has to do with people's expectations of Paris as the city of love. Especially people from Japan, they have this. They have an extreme affinity for Japan. I'm not saying okay. Anyways, but they have an extreme affinity for Japan. A lot of the people. I mean, if you look at the Tokyo Tower, it's basically just a red and white version of the Eiffel Tower, right? So they are very enamored by romance and beauty and elegance of Paris, and then they get there, it doesn't meet their expectations, and they really don't like that. So, and that look it up, Paris syndrome. It's a real thing. Okay, so we got another conversation going on here. Let's see. Huh. Tell me that God is giving me panic attacks so I can learn how to deal with them and help people, and taking her perspective very well. Huh. Hmm. Well, I'm sorry. I probably wouldn't take that as well as you avoid, but yeah. Anyways, obviously a good perspective is definitely uh I think you can learn about anything. You can learn to be resilient. Like what I was talking about before with stoicism, it's like I think I don't know exactly what Stoic said this, but it was it's not, you don't want to go through life um not expecting challenges, not expecting this, or actually no, it's more desiring always to have good things, no bad things happen to you. If you go through life with that, that's kind of an unhelpful way of looking at things. But if you are going through the life, the Stoic said, uh, becoming more and more resilient to each progressive things, with the awareness that there are going to be bad things, like the flood, like what you said, avoid. There's always going to be challenging things. The more realistic thing is to not to wish them to never happen, but more or less to become completely resilient. That doesn't mean stone cold. That doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. That means accepting and allowing yourself to be kind to yourself and know that like shitty stuff happens. I never asked for this. Shitty stuff happens, but doesn't say anything bad about me if I'm affected by it, right? And the more you build that sense of resilience and self compassion in yourself, I think the better off you are. But that's me. So yeah, you've been married, Lord Spike Protein, for as long as I've been alive. That's pretty amazing. That's dedication. That is cool. It's a yin yang world. Yeah, Taoism is always awesome. I love that. There's with the yin yang being that there's always a little negative in the positive, and there's always a little positive in the negative. I if anyone look up Taoism, that's another good one. Taoism is great. Anxiety is a natural protective mechanism to keep us safe. For many of us, for various reasons, it becomes larger than it should, affecting more areas in our life than just unsafe habits. Maria, yes, our brain, which creates the cortisol and adrenaline, the very tissues that are facilitating, let's say, those neurochemicals or creating those neurochemicals, the things that aspect, that part of your brain can get weaker. It can get weaker if you face like completely traumatic things, and it just pushes it and pushes it for an extended period of time. There's going to be some atrophy. There's going to be some entropy. It's going to affect it. It's going to cause brain damage, and after that, it's weakened. Right after that, whenever you do have those continued neurochemicals in your brain, it's going to be a lot quicker and easier for it to become flared up, or you know. So brain damage is it's real. We are all victims because we are all going to die. So what are we going to do about it? I like the way Jesus did it. He carried his damn cross and dealt with it. Yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of imagine how much thoughts he had. I wouldn't dare call myself a Christian, but I do think Jesus' story is still significant. Yeah, I mean, it's been pervasive to this day, right? Or pervasive, I shouldn't say that. It's just been around for a long time. So, what about Buddha's story? He had a pretty cool life. Um, yeah, and Buddha, of course, is another person who faced extreme adversary, or adversary, who faced extreme adversary, and maybe it wasn't adversary, but definitely suffering, and saw the world for what it really was after living in his uh, little palace for whatever, for however yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm fucking yeah. Buddha is great as well. He suffered willingly, like Jesus. Also, he also like Socrates. Yeah, Lady Campion, I'm so happy to see you here. I just hope you're in good health and that things are still progressing. So, I mean, your recovery is progressing, right? Adversary. I'm so freaking grateful right now. I'm so happy. There's the amount of people here blows my mind. It's and a lot of the feedback that I'm getting. I'm glad that in chat people are being as respectful as they can, and oh, it's just wonderful. I thank all of you so much. Um, yeah. So, my question, if we are faced with suffering and there's no question about it, What is a practical and pragmatic way of dealing it grace? With grace, is it gratitude? Is it the act of being thankful? That may be one way of doing it, but I guess it's one of those things that you have to work on for a long time. So I love talking about this stuff. I'm glad that people like it because I could go on and on and on about it. If people are interested in this kind of stuff, awesome, because that really helps me out. I mean, I have other talents other than making crappy beats, right? I can bullshit my way through philosophy, mental health. Obviously, I'm just taking the piss, but I'm very happy to talk at length about things that I really enjoy. Thank you, Avoid. Yeah, you're awesome. I help myself by helping others. I think that's a very solid kind of topic because um we usually think that the direct act of helping someone else is one of the only ways to go about it. But I think the number one direct way to help other people, period, full stop, is to help yourself. And I don't mean greed. I don't mean hubris. I mean you are the one literally who's going to help other people. So if you don't help yourself by, let's say, working out, if you're a firefighter, let's say, and you don't help yourself by working out, eating properly, and learning about compassion and love and helping and morals and virtues or whatever it is, if you don't help yourself become a better person as that firefighter, you'll be useless. Like me, I'm not. I ain't no tough guy. But as you help yourself, you directly help other people because being this person who, specifically in my mind, as a hypothetical situation, is capable of doing something good, now you can help, right? So I think it's paramount to everything. All of this is all stuff I work on daily. It's great. It's great. Even on the bad days, remind yourself that at least you are most of the time wanting to live a life that is worth living and giving other people with your assistance the platform to understand that they can also have a life worth living. And it really doesn't take much to inspire someone. It really doesn't take much to kind of I mean, the attention given to other people, even in the most minute ways, can really help. I believe in, if you are going to have an agenda about helping other people, it being only lifting them up. That's it, nothing else. You want to take away pain and you want to take away suffering if it is unnecessary. That's it. Like, that has to be, your number one. What am I saying? I'm preaching now. My number one thing is to remove unnecessary pain and suffering. If there's anything that I believe a certain person said, who I think now he's kind of kooky, but he sounds like Kermit the Frog. If there's anything I'm going to take away from him, it's that you want to go around with the intention of removing any unnecessary pain and suffering. So, yeah. So I gotta read these comments. Yeah, man, I'm inspiring a lot of pretty crazy comments with my shit. Helping others takes the focus off of yourself. And that's sometimes what is needed. But if you don't take care of yourself, that doesn't work either. Yeah, exactly, Campion. That really, Lady Campion. Uh, so our bodies are built to work. We should sweat and use all our strength consistently to have a healthy body. Uh, should is a pretty. It just means there's an expectation that if you don't, that something is wrong. So I heard that. I'm not taking away from what you're saying because it's a great point. Uh, should sometimes can be a bit of like, don't should on yourself, right? It's almost like self flagellation or something. I don't know. Anyways, Completely other topic. Gonna go on to the next comment. Helping others increases our dopamine. So when you ask someone for help, you're helping yourself or you're them too. There you go, which is awesome. It's great. I think there's a beautiful set of photos in a magazine that said this, or maybe it was in Facebook or something. It is like these are two pictures. One just as a human being, and then the second picture is after telling them that they're beautiful or that they look beautiful or something like that. Every single one of them had a fucking shit-eating grin, not a shit-eating grin, but just a huge smile, just all teeth, which is great. Uh, I don't think your motivation for helping others should be about making yourself feel better. Um, but why can't you make yourself feel better? That's a better question. What's wrong with making yourself feel better? Maybe that is the reason behind why a lot of people suffer in the darkness. Is there anything wrong with making yourself feel better? You know? It's up in the air. I'm not gonna answer that question, but I don't know. Uh, Peterson is great. He has helped me deal with a lot of personal issues like alcoholism. That's awesome. I got this. There's this one guy who does live streams. Um, and my favorite, he's like my one of my favorite people right now. His name is Timothy Ward. Timothy, if you ever see me shouting you out, hi, you, my favorite person ever. He's like this extra dope dude who, I mean, it's funny. He's quirky. He's like the biggest fan of the WNBA, and he loves it. And where a lot of guys may not think that way, but he's into it. He loves it. And out there's so many other things. We're not here to suffer. We're not here to work, buy, and then build debt and die and all this stuff. He's just a wonderful soul, that guy. So getting lost in the comments here. Good point. Should could indicate that if not done, there's an error. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Okay. I need help. I need help. Can you help me? Practice it now. Remember, you're helping them when you ask. They can always say no too, so you can ask someone else. Okay. I find it hard to be depressed when I am grateful. I have a daily routine that starts me off positive, and I struggle to stay there. I don't always do that, but I try. And you know what? It's life. It's like my show is going to be a mosaic. My intention for the mosaic is just tons of different types of music from all different genres, all different feelings, all different um intentions, completely like a kaleidoscope, but it all fits into one big broad picture about how beautiful and talented we all are as artists, you know? We may feel alone and isolated in our own specific issues, but as one giant community, we are strong. If you were to say, pick a few words that describe us as a whole, not just like a part of it, not as like you and your in interpretation, as the entirety of the community, what are some good words that would describe our intention as a whole? You know? And leave no one out. I think it's great. I One that comes to mind is genuinity. Me I mean that it doesn't sound wrong. So, let's see, what do we got here? The problem with making ourselves feel better is that we can fall trapped into worshiping our own body. I think that's intention. I think that's intention. I think that can easily be sidestepped. Uh, when you worship something, that's the language actually. Worshiping someone is worshiping every aspect of them without acceptance that there's flaws, right? It's blind worship. I mean, in this context, it's blind worship. Worshiping yourself is not what I'm looking for. It's self-awareness, and then not just beating the shit out of yourself just because you have flaws. It's enough self-awareness to say, okay, here we are. There's not too much I can do at this moment, not like in the close future, but like right now, I have flaws. I also have lots of positive things. But me always focusing on the negative shit is not going to make it better. It's like when you give compliments to someone for doing something that you appreciate, right? They're going to do more of that, and on their daily routine, if they fill up their day more with things that you appreciate rather than things that they hate about themselves, it's just going to make a more positive overall practice, I think. But I could go on for that. Um, no worship is perfect. No worship is perfect. I don't. Yeah, there's no comment there, obviously, but no worship is perfect. People claim to worship a god, but they still sin. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm not. I've never had any um, deep um, experience with religion too much. Wasn't didn't go to church or anything. My parents weren't religious, but yeah, I yeah. Anyways, don't want to go too deep into that. Do you feel good when you help someone else? Why do you feel good when you help someone else? And how is that okay? Can you accept that? Yes, it does. You may feel a bit selfish because I mean, like a charity or something like that, or a philanthropist. They're doing tons of fucking work to help the community. Imagine if they don't usually feel like crap about it, right? They're usually doing it because it makes them feel good, right? The question is like if because they're feeling good about their help that they should kind of stop that. Like, no, don't, you're not supposed to feel good about yourself. Would there be not as much community help? Would there be not as much charity or positive intention work? That's another question. You know, happiness has terrible withdrawals. Yeah, nothing is absolute. Nothing is completely absolute. Um, Especially with emotions, because ambivalence is like one of the coolest things. I learned about this. You can both feel like petrified in fear and happy at the same time. You can both feel mortified and grateful. There's and it's the way that we it's very inaccurate, I believe, to put emotions on a continuum. Or not continuum. That's more like a timeline. What I'm saying is on a polarity rating, like a scale of polarity, and this is bad, this is good, and all of the emotions sit somewhere neatly on here. It's like it's all up to you to describe what those feelings are meaning to you, and it's more of like a big fucking circle where the outside is the extreme and acute version of those feelings, but it and even that is nailing it down to like something that's I think inaccurate. But I mean, why am I saying this to you? Avoid you probably well aware of this. I guess the problem with asking for help is taking people's time. It's funny. You could say to yourself, "I'm not going to go for a walk today because there's no point. It's raining." Or you could go for a walk, get out there, start feeling good, and then somebody maybe fell down, an elderly person, and there's no one around because no one's walking because it's raining, and everyone's like, "There's no point. It's terrible outside." You see this person, you use your phone, call for help, and there you go. You never know. It's always random. Something could happen when you're not engaging with life in any meaningful way. Or no, I shouldn't say that. If you're not engaging and getting out there and doing things, uh, there's just tons of opportunity. If you look for opportunity, there's going to be opportunity. No matter what your intention for for the walk is, you may go for a walk and say, "I want to go to the store to get ice cream," and then some girl stops you on your way and says, like, "Oh, hey, your shirt looks really cool. I love comic books," and you're like, "Oh, really? What kind of comic books are you into?" It sparks something, and then 33 years later, you're like, fuck, what happened? No, it's all good. Like fucking marriage is dope. Um, that's obviously just fucking uh hypothetical, obviously. So I gotta see these comments, man. This is awesome. Uh that's due to their okay, so it's continuation on. I think that being happy is just a decision. Maybe my circumstances suck, but I think I'm happy. And I think I'm dumb. I think I'm dumb. Oh, interesting. Um it is somewhat a decision. But for someone with analysis paralysis or overthinking, uh saying that can seem like saying and it's just something basically empty. It's a decision. But if you are the type of person to try to figure out why exactly you deserve that, why exactly there's a million fucking reasons why you shouldn't, why you just why that doesn't have any hold weight in your life, why there's reasons why your life in your position there's no possible way that you can, no rightful way. That's all the fucking thoughts blow up, you know? Then it's gonna be difficult. It's one of those things that's, like, simple to say and it's technically true, but for some people, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to, rationalize. Maybe not feeding the compulsion to rationalize everything and just zen, just having a break from that fucking onslaught for 2 seconds. Maybe that can show, perhaps, a way just to take a break. Take that for yourself. And hey, yeah, I don't know. It gave me peace. It gave me the whole Eckhart Tolle stuff kinda like, you know, helped me see what was really going on, and it made me happy. I made myself happy, which is really cool. It's a decision, but holy crap, takes you a long time to get there, that's for sure, if ever. Which some people, I mean, we gotta be grateful because some people are miserable and then they get cut off early. So, uh, if you're breathing right now, you may have a chance at turning things around. So why not? What do you got to lose, right? I don't expect anyone to help me, but I'm confident to ask. That's cool. That's cool. I hope that works for you. Hate being patronized. Is that uh, hate being patronized? I grew up being smarter than everyone around me, and I could always read them before it got anywhere. Hate being patronized. Yeah, I suppose. Um, mm, Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kinda cool to if you're in a group of actual intellectuals, my opinion is to kinda slow my roll, maybe observe more, maybe kind of, um, come across as if I no, don't even gloat about the shit that I do know, but kinda like, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably just sit in the background, maybe looking a bit dumb. Make my presence known, and obviously be kind to everyone. But you never know. Whatever circle you're in, you never know exactly how much they know. So when I'm doing this, when I'm saying things like straight up, like they're facts or whatever, just always take that with a grain of salt. I guess there's a way to be intelligent, and then there's a way to be performative, and sometimes they don't necessarily mesh. Hmm. Okay, so I can only think of one person who has ever helped me in a way who is patronizing. Oh, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. See you leave there. Good to see you, Maria. You're awesome. You inspired some great dialogue. So glad to see you here. that you were here. Okay. So damn. Oh man, I've been doing this for an hour and 30 minutes. Very happy. That's why I am always lurking, watching people and learning life that way. Yeah, two eyes. Or no, two ears, one mouth. So you have to it's good to listen twice as much as you speak. Obviously, right now I'm not taking that memo, but tis what it is, or whatever. I think it'd be funny just to kind of to to have an entire conversation based out of those I don't know what the correct term would be, but you know like that, like or at the end of the day when all it's said and done, all the stuff, you know the devices that we use to sound like we're saying more than we actually are, kind of thing. Just to have a complete conversation with that does not go anywhere. I think Tim Heidecker did that when he parodied Joe Rogan's podcast. But everyone has a pearl if you have the patience. Patience. Is that like a pun or patience like mental like health like a medical patient? Although I read Catcher in the Rye at about the same time, and I totally got that, even though my teachers had doubts. Huh. Interesting. I've never read that book. Old people are human gold mines. Uh, yes, they can be. A lot of them can be amazing wealths of knowledge about lots of different topics, not just like they know everything. Because like just talk to even older individual opens up about what they find enjoyable. I'd pay attention. I'd ask them, prod them more questions about what. Say they like trains and they were a conductor or something. Say what was encourage them to be themselves and kind of express more. I think I don't know. Mm. Sorry, Michael Songs. I did not see that you were heading out. Have a great night. Oh wow, I didn't know about that acrostic in listen silent. Acrostic, is that a term that describes that statement? Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't know, I'm not getting all mixed up. Listen equals silent. Oh, got it. Oh, because it's the same letters. Got it. Yeah, but it's not only being silent. It's not just being silent. Listening is an active process. Listening, true listening, is soaking up the information. It's being absolutely curious in what the other person has to say, regardless of what you think about it. It's platforming them. You are their audience. You are their YouTube audience. Like, so what? It may not be a lot of people, but to them, any audience, just like anyone, true connection it beats big connection every time. You could have a million people on their phone, or you could have one person who really is like wanting to hear about you and kind of gets you. And that means a billion times more than any other bullshit social media, whatever. Oh, gotcha. Acrostic is when you have a word and each line begins with the letter of the word. Oh, gotcha. Oh, nice. You're super late for what? I'm late for a very important date. Alice in Wonderland. I've been thinking about that a lot. Cheshire Cat. That's a cool character. Okay, guys. I will see you later. Have a good night. Well, it was great having you, Justine. You're always a treat to have around. Love your perspective. Take care. Um, Book club never got off the ground. No one joined so far. Well, I think that's part of it. I think you have to build an audience slowly, or you have to build a community around you. You have to get a bunch of people, uh, and the X factor is you have to get them interested in you, your personality, your and maybe ego, but like more or less how you present to the world. If people are in, if people, if you are somewhat of a very intriguing and kind of, if people want to spend time committed to your message in general, they'll they'll always be there, right? If you got good intentions, if you're coming across in a way that is very relatable with a lot of people and they enjoy what you do, that's all you need. Just get yourself out there, put yourself out there. It's kind of like, I mean, this is the online space, right? But if you're back in the day, you had to go to clubs, you had to go to libraries, you had to go to workshops, you had to go to everywhere, even the park, and you just go there over and over and over until you're an institution there. You're a presence that everyone is familiar with, and also it's relatable, reliable. It's safe, right? When someone shows up and they're like, "Oh, there's that guy who always talks to me. He's awesome," you know. Then the audience will show up. Then you'll start getting the numbers. Then if you say to a lot of people who are down with you, "Hey, I got a toothpick company, and it's a stupid idea, right? But I just want to sell a bunch of toothpicks. People will fucking buy your toothpicks, and that's kind of it seems kind of stupid, right? But let's say they were cool toothpicks. Let's say your branding. It's just a knickknack that you put on the fucking on the top of your I don't know your PC or whatever. You're like, ah, yeah, this is just a funny joke, right? We need a ghostwriter to make our book. Oh yeah. Well, unfortunately, they're hard to contact at this point. Edgar Allan Poe, I've emailed them so many fucking times. Uh, regardless. Yeah. So, hi Pookie, it rocks. Oh, okay, different conversation. It's so cool. I think we got another couple new people. Blue's here. That's cool. Who else we got? No, that's about it. Okay, sweet. So I took an old string off the guitar. Nice, cool. What do y'all think about banjitars? And what do you think about those little banjo ukuleles? Have any of you seen those? They're like ukuleles, but they're banjos. What do you think of them things? I want to know. You know? Now I gotta think about something fucking interesting to talk about. Yep. Okay, never mind. So, oh man, there's a little bit of lull. Wow, I'm amazed that I was able to talk that much for so long. Your perception. Okay. Whatever. Nuts. Just trying to figure out something that I get. Oh, I have to run. Much love. All. Thank you, Indy. You've been amazing. Thank you so much. Uh, so I'm sorry I missed the. No, you don't got to be sorry. You have every reason to kind of uh take time for yourself or whatever. I don't know. I just showed this. I I It's an impromptu meeting, right? It just kind of showed up. So I thought if people show up, good. They can show up. More the merrier. But if only a few people show up and they're fun to talk to, that's all that really mattered. So Blue, you said I relearned a Cure song that I hadn't played since I was little. The Blood by The Cure. Haven't heard that song. Okay. So, what I pretty much gotten through what I wanted to talk about for the majority of this conversation. Let's see. I probably can get some more fodder from my profile on another social media platform. I have been putting a lot of um entries for people who are on my Facebook. Uh and yes, sometimes if you do see that or you see what I'm talking about slightly on the on YouTube or whatever, if I post something that comes across concerning you and stuff, and it's just part and parcel of me being who I am and having the diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder. But I will tell you, if you care, if you're a bit concerned with something I'm doing, there's absolutely no problem with you reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, man, is everything okay?" In fact, it would be really helpful. I came to this discovery the other day that what wouldn't it be fun that if I just started making lists. I started figuring out what's the coolest shit that people have ever done to me or for me, sorry. What is the few things that I can think of people and their actions towards me as maybe a gift or some kind of benevolent gesture, anything. It could be just their words or it could be some kind of love language or whatever. I don't know. Just a nice thing for another person done to me. And I thought out of all those things that I liked, why don't I do those for other people? If I like them, then why not do them for other people? Just random gestures out of nowhere. Just like I think one of the best things you can do, not just start with like a random fucking action of positivity, but just check in on some people. Check in on there's probably people that you haven't thought about for a long time, especially in the community, and just checking in on like, hey, something made me think of you today, or blah blah blah. I listened to this song, and I just want you to know that you are awesome, and keep going on because you never know what people are going through. So it's always nice, right? Thanks. Oh yeah, it's good to see you. Kubrick Lover 1972 is here, which is awesome. Like the saying, practice random acts of kindness. Now, I'm not asking this in kind of an accusatory way, but why? Why would you practice acts of kindness, random acts of kindness? I think, and you may take this answer as well. It's just a fucking fun thing to do. It's just a groovy thing to do, as Alan Watts would say, right? He was specifically talking about when it comes to Zen and meditation and mindfulness that why do if Zen's a state of mind, if the present moment's just a state of mind, then why do we do all this fancy ritual and meditative circles and I don't know, martial arts and all these different things? It's just because it's a groovy thing to do. You don't when you're dancing, right? That's the thing, right? With music, it's not about uh how long it is. It's not about getting to the end of the song. And music is an example of the reveling of the moment because it's every aspect. It is reveling the journey through that. If music was a competition in the realm of like how quick it would be, that all songs would be like a second long. Like, that's not my sentiment. That's direct from Alan Watts. He talks about that too, but it's just a cool thing to talk about. So be the happiness that spreads. As you can see, I've had a big fucking stupid grin on my face this whole time. Yeah, you know, just loving it. Uh it's great having my cat around too. She's a blessing. As much as she can be neurotic or whatever, be unreasonable and attack me sometimes for no reason just because I don't know, being a cat is has that that's what it entails. Then I don't care, people who can't look at just an animal, any kind of animal, and then give them the fucking benefit of the doubt, I'll say for the lack of a better term. If they can't just allow space for animals to be animals without putting their personal anger and resentment into anything, that is great because people who are generally attribute animals with like human behaviors and get disappointed or whatever the fuck kind of weird expectation based feeling towards an animal. I mean, come on, animals are gonna do whatever the fuck they do, right? Let's forgive them for that. Right? They don't need some overbearing overlord trying to tell them exactly what they're supposed to do and what they're supposed to not do. I don't know. Just let them be what they are. Oh, sorry. What do we got going on here? Bandit, fun fact, because time is relative, right now, we are being born and we are also dead simultaneously. We are only experiencing what has already happened. I know, you already said that. Now, only. Oh, fuck, that's funny. I'm so stupid, I swear to God. Oh, man. So, what do we got? I guess maybe that's not the. Okay, I got it. But what's. Okay, no. Hanging with you guys is good for me. Thanks. You don't see this in public, so it's hyper cool. Cool. I'm glad you're here. So it seems like people are checking out at this point. Oh, it's kind of going back and forth in between low and high numbers, but I mean, fucking who cares, right? I'm kind of just gonna shoot for 2 hours. I think that's a good solid number. We're at an hour and 45 minutes right now, and I think I'm gonna go until then. So at the 2 hour mark, a good 5 minutes before that, everyone just fucking leaves and takes off. I don't care. It's gonna be good. So, okay. So what do we got? There's a bit of tension in the comments. Hopefully, y'all can sort it out. I don't know. What is it? Who is it? Indy's not here anymore. My moderator. All right, that's cool. I think a random act of kindness is an act of kindness done spontaneously and not something you thought about doing. And doing something kind for someone else without a single expectation that it will be returned, even with karma. Don't even make karma a part of it. Well, it's a certain understanding of karma. But the Western understanding of karma, don't even add that into the whole equation. Just do good things, man, or woman, or whoever. Do nice things. Because why? Because doing nice things, if you had them done to you, it'd make your day. It's just nice. Be nice for the sake of whatever. It's a fun thing, right? Don't need. Okay, so Bandit, what time do you sleep? I'm going to run a stream talking about certain psychological disadvantages. You're free to join my panel. Well, what time do I sleep? That's a good question. Do I sleep at all? I don't know. Midnight Bandit, right? That's the name. Is not just fucking. I did just come up with it. Out of the random Wu-Tang name generator, but I've lived up to it. Does spontaneous necessarily mean random? You were likely inspired by something for some reason. I'm only questioning the randomness, not the kindness. Oh, okay. Yeah. He seems to keep your hours DOA. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay. There's a person who just showed up who's part of a completely different community. Was a part of Facebook community, but I mean, I would definitely suggest that he shows up in our other YouTube community. His name's Caspian. Hi, Caspian. He's amazing. I wish I could share a link right now, but I mean, is anyone else a moderator in here? I don't know if anyone else is, but anyways, if no one is, go check out Caspian's music. He makes some wicked synthwave and stuff like that, things like that, synthwave, dark wave, all that stuff. It's 80s ish kind of music sounding synth music is so cool. So check it out. And it's good to see you. Got to step away from the computer for a few minutes. Okay, cool. See you back in a bit. According to Friedrich, everything we do is a form of power. Even doing kind things without expecting anything in return is an act that gains power. Yes, technically, right? Technically, it is. technically being a people pleaser, as I have been many times in the past, is a form of manipulation, right? And it's a hard thing to kind of think about, especially for me, because I don't feel like I want to be labeled with a manipulation kind of thing, but it literally is what it is. It's just what's the direct, if it's a healthy form of it, right? What is going to end up with a better result? Being accommodating in a healthy way, or being toxic, right? I think, yeah, when it's too much of a good thing, positivity can be, you know, a bit toxic. But yeah, there are healthy forms of power. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh, and if it's everything, it's kind of like, it's like it's like everything as far as humankind goes. If power is everything, if every form of communication in all means and realms is a form of a distribution of power, then uh, you can't get away from it. How do you respond to it? What is the intention that you create over time that you want to embody, right? As far as where you put your power, attention, whatever you want to define it as. Even not interacting is at times, it's choice. Even being quiet and silent is an act of power. Everything is, right? I mean, that's what you're that's what you said that Friedrich Nietzsche uh, was talking about. He believes, right? So I think altruism is a myth, in that even if I help a person expecting nothing in return, it still makes me feel good to do that, and therefore is why I helped, if only to make myself feel good. But that doesn't mean altruism is a myth. It means that there's a pervasive myth that exists that says that people, if they are only doing something for themselves, should feel shame. I asked the question earlier. Why is it a bad thing? I'm saying for the royal understanding of the status quo. Why is it bad uh, to just help yourself? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not answering that question. I'm just putting it out there. It's a good thing to ponder, right? I don't know. Anyways, okay. So we're getting down to the last couple of minutes here. It was great. Okay. You're responding. Oh, it's not a bad thing. Oh yeah. So this has been amazing for all the people in here who are musicians or as equally valuable and important music fans. You have all made my day a lot brighter, and you've just, I guess, entirely made my day because I just feel so much. So I'm pumped up by this. You can tell I'm a one of them damn fucking extroverts because I feel pumped up after this, and I feel. I hope I didn't drain you too much. If you're an introvert, I hope that I don't know. That's I'm just talking shit now. Whatever. Fuck. It's really. I'm really happy to see all of you. You know, that's a funny thing because Blue, you're saying I'm a fan of stripping away the illusions. Does that only is are you specifically with that statement? Are you only referring to mostly man-made illusions? Rather talk about this than make jokes. I think, yeah, yeah. This gives me energy, to be honest. Oh, that's good. I don't know. This may be wrong, but you're either an ambivert or a definite introvert. Avoid. I That's an assumption, obviously, but I mean, you can comment on that or whatever. Maybe it's just maybe that's stereotyping as like a metalhead being more introverted. I don't know, but there's all varieties of people into metal. So I may not look like your stereotypical metalhead, but I fucking love me some metal. Any kind of music can be good, except for, well, no, not any. Some can be trash. But context, right? So my auditory hallucinations have been asking every single time there's a lull, what are you talking about? That's what I hear. I obviously none of you hear that, so but that's me. That's me. And my shit. Nice Kubrick. He's one. Okay, what do we got here? There's a bunch of heads opened up at once. Yeah, it's a great. It's a. This is like the opposite of a corporate business meeting. If it's still in the realm of it being not like an absolute opposite, but like if it's still in the realms of being a meeting. Nietzsche. Okay. Okay. What do we got here? You said something, Kubrick. I used to have a lot of Nietzsche's. I read a real whole bunch of his books and books about him. I had to downsize when I moved, so I had to get rid of a lot of books. Oh shit, man. Anyways, let's see what you got. Okay, so you're I like Rockefeller giving people on the street a dime. He has billions of dimes, and it didn't really help the person, but in the eyes of the public, he became a philanthropist. Ooh, there you go. There you go. It's yeah. If you have the potential to like if you're a superhero and you don't save the world, kind of a dick thing to do. But that's based on someone else's perspective. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's yeah, it's good. Quite. If I'm gonna leave with this thought, I liked it from that guy who said he made the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know. Some of you may be really interested in that. I kind of like it. I think it's awesome. But the thing that I really took away from it mostly was this one thing he said, and it was statements close the mind where questions open them, right? And I think that's an amazing way to look at the world. Ask more questions, not only about yourself, but about everything. Questions. Speak more on questions. Ask questions about the people that you care about, because odds are, if you're just speaking in statements, you're not necessarily delving into what makes each person who they are. And that's an awesome thing to do. Deep questions, not just small talk, get to know people, right? It makes a damn difference. It sounded like Peterson. It makes a damn difference. Uh, I'm not crying though. So, anyways, y'all have a great day. I'm gonna head out. 1:57. Uh, if y'all wanna just take some time to say see you later to everyone who's in chat, just say your goodbyes. I always like that. I'll give some time for everyone to kind of check out. I'll do that now, and I'll just check out the comments as you all kind of say goodbye to everyone. Awesome. I'm glad you can come, Caspian. It's really cool to have you. It's like if I was saying to join your caveman tribe, I could say I'm good hunter and then help you try, but I really just need to try for my own security. I think there's definitely relevancy in needing other people, but also being able to have a skill. Now, it would be different if they weren't a hunter and they were just trying to sneak in there. But anyways, having a skill that you can trade is great. Till next time. All right, good to see you, Kubrick, Caspian, Avoid, Unicorn. All right, and anyone else who's here that may have checked out, Campion, Pookie, Dennis, everyone, every single person. You are all amazing. Okay, cheers. Bye bye.